Across the country, these lush landscapes could become harder to find due to development and climate change. But locally, some good news.
We have this long history of storing land in Massachusetts, very unique to most states across the country. And because of that, I think we're very progressive at how we look at land and how we look at protecting land.
According to the Massachusetts Land Trust Coalition, the state is home to approximately 140 land trust and private conservation organizations. That's more than any other state except California. Together, they conserve 250,000 acres, nearly 5% of land in the Commonwealth.
A land trust really is about voluntary land conservation, so we're working in partnership with towns and in partnership with families who own fields or forests to conserve it in perpetuity, which means forever.
That doesn't always mean setting the land completely aside, says Kristen DeBoer, Executive Director of the Kestrel Land Trust in Amherst. The nonprofit has helped conserve 27,000 acres since its founding in 1970.
Farmland is core to our mission. This would have been full of houses if it hadn't have been saved as a farm. And we need housing, but we need places to grow food.
So Kestrel Land Trust partnered with the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts to build a farm in Hadley, taking advantage of the Connecticut River Valley's fertile soil.
We're excited to see what you're growing today.
Organic produce grown here feeds food-insecure families, says the Food Bank's Executive Director, Andrew Morehouse.
We're able to, from this farm, extract about 60,000 pounds of vegetables every year for free that we make available through a vast network of local food pantries and meal sites.
That harvest is largely provided by 2 commercial organic farmers on the property.
In lieu of cash rent, they give us a share of the harvest. It's a great model for us. It stems from the first food bank farm that we own also here in Hadley since 1992, the first food bank in the country to do so.
The food bank also has its own farmer, as well as volunteers.
Yesterday we planted a bunch of okra, some eggplant.
Our farmer will be growing more than about 14 vegetables on this 1 acre of no-till farming.
Carlene Bassler is Program Director at the Amherst Survival Center, which helps feed vulnerable members of the community.
I would say that we see close to 350 people for our lunch daily. There's almost 1,000 families within a week that come to the food pantry.
Today we're planting cabbages for the fall.
We get close to 400 pounds of produce a week. Every year they've increased the amount that we get, and the fact that we're able to tell our participants that it's organic, that it's minimally tilled, that it's really coming from a source that we trust to put in the community just makes people so happy.
That's the female red-winged blackbird.
And beyond the farm, an opportunity to explore nature at leisure.
Conservation isn't a luxury for some, but a necessity for everyone. We're, as a human species, are spending more time inside than ever before, and that leads to a sense of disconnection. When people don't love nature, they're not going to save it.
These trails are free and open to the public. They're maintained by Kestrel staff and volunteers, as well as Jabbar Muhammad and Callahan Murphy.
If you take the bottom one.
Muhammad and Callahan are with TerraCorps, a branch of the federal AmeriCorps program. TerraCorps places people at nonprofit land trusts in Massachusetts or Rhode Island. Part of the work involves teaching others about conservation.
Being in a nature space and being at Kestrel Land Trust has helped me continue to help youth who don't know too much about nature kind of become leaders in their own spaces.
I originally had a totally different plan in mind of going into nursing, and then my senior year of high school I took environmental science, and I thought, how could anyone be interested in anything else when we need to protect these lands so badly?
That kind of passion has a powerful impact over time, says DeBoer.
I've been doing this now for 20 years. I see the results of the work every day, acre by acre. And it's pretty hard to make a difference on a planetary scale, but you can really see the difference that you can make in your local community.
And you may be wondering how the Food Bank Farm is doing after all of the recent flooding.
Well, according to Andrew Morehouse, so far so good, but not out of the woods yet because of all the rain we've had and continue to have. Andrew also says Food Bank works to help emerging farmers of color grow produce on their property and eventually to buy their own farmland. That's one of their central goals there at the Food Bank.
That's great. All right. Next, rewilding Muddy Pond.